direct face-to-face interaction and clinical practices. The pandemic has impacted all the sectors, including nursing education. As the crisis escalated, many governments have closed the schools and colleges and universities to ensure the safety of the students, teachers, and nations. So within the health field, the schools and College of Nursing are bracing for unique challenges related to our role in helping to develop the next generation of the care providers. So according to the survey conducted by International Council for Nurses, 73% of National Nurses Association report that undergraduate nursing education has been disrupted, and 54% reported disruption to postgraduate education. So this ICN survey of NNA showed that 46% of countries experience delays or cancellation to the nursing students' clinical placements. So another 41% of countries reported that placements were restricted to certain areas. So this is the study which has been done. A nursing student's experience of pedagogical transition from campus learning to the distance learning using the digital tool. When we ask about the education type preference, and 67% of the students preferred the campus lecturers than the distance learning. And the most preferred is pre-recorded videos by the students. And technical limitation, yes, of course, only 82% had no limitation as such. And regard to the learning course content, 45% had minor deterioration. And with regard to the student-teacher communication, 54% of the student-teacher communication was minor deterioration. And practical information about the course, 48% had a minor deterioration in that. So this was been experienced by the students. So 57% of the countries report there is a delay in the students' graduation, including 7% that reported major delay of 12 months or more. In India, we had 6 months. 57% of NNAs report a positive effect of the pandemic on the education sector. So the nursing students, they feared that COVID-19 virus, along with the experiencing anxiety and stressful situations due to the distance learning, clinical training, assignments, and educational workloads. So that this pandemic has affected the psychological health of the learners as they adjusted to the new learning structure. So this irresolute time span of the COVID-19 pandemic and suspension of the clinical teaching and experiences in the healthcare facilities have affected the students' readiness for the licensure examination too. The final year students face uncertainties regarding the completion of the program and timelines for sitting their licensure examination. So with the onset of this pandemic globally, face-to-face classes, clinical skills, laboratories, and the clinical placement of students were either suspended or restricted, and more especially in countries that were critically affected by this outbreak, in order to maintain and safeguard the health of the students and faculty as a whole. So to be able to continue this teaching and learning during this pandemic, while complying with the COVID-19 prevention protocols, many institutions of higher learning switched from the traditional face-to-face teaching learning to the virtual mode. So content that was delivered in a combined face-to-face and online teaching and learning the hybrid mode went fully online. And content was previously taught only face-to-face had to be quickly, we need to convert into online delivery. And teachers were being trained to deliver virtual classroom sessions when necessary. So this COVID-19 pandemic has created a number of new challenges for the nursing education and the educators. And perhaps the most prominent challenges are ability to provide the learning experiences in the clinical setting for the students through virtual platform. So several teaching methods have been considered, such as the use of blended learning methodologies to enhance the clinical skills and to mitigate the limited clinical exposure. Video demonstrations to supplement the lack of clinical exposure. Simulation method of teaching been used. And this solution, however, limited the skill development and the clinical practice placement of students, which is a normal approach in the traditional nursing curricula. Teachers were forced to learn how to navigate and deliver the course content online. So this COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the way things are done in walks of life, including the nursing education in both developing and developed countries. Nursing schools all over the world, as well as in developing countries, responded to the pandemic following the guidelines of the World Health Organization, and different countries had their own specific guidelines regarding the pandemic. So during this pandemic, as per the WHO guidelines in India, various nursing colleges organized series of webinars for the nursing students, foreign experts, nurse practitioners, and alumni from international partners and other healthcare organizations delivered the lectures on a variety of health topics relevant to the current trends in nursing practices, to the new normal, and to expand the nursing knowledge. So globally, preparing nurses is challenging during this pandemic situation because low and middle income countries may not have the systems, tools, and resources. So different country members have followed the different techniques in order to overcome these challenges. We have conducted a webinar in the last year when the pandemic started, similar to the same topic, and experts from USA, Oman, and India shared their experiences in nursing education during this pandemic situation. Now, after a year, today we have an opportunity. The experts from Malaysia, Indonesia, Bahrain, and Singapore are with us to share their experiences in nursing education during this pandemic situation. Thank you. So we are eagerly waiting to hear from our experts today. So I hand over to the organizers for these sessions. Thank you all so much and have a great day.
Thank you.
We will start the first session with Professor Zara Saad.
Thank you, ma'am. It's time for the most awaited part of this webinar. So here comes our eminent speakers to share their experiences. Learn from the experts. You will not have enough time to figure it all by yourself. I take it as an honor to introduce our first speaker, Professor Zara Saad, Dean, Faculty of Nursing and Midwifery, Mazar University, Malaysia. She has an extensive working experience, more than 50 years in nursing journey, 20 years in clinical area, and 30 years in education sector. As a registered nurse in government hospital early in her nursing career, before becoming a nurse educator in the Ministry of Health, she worked in few hospitals in Semenanjung and East Malaysia. She was the principal for two institutions, Alosea College and Malacca College of Nursing. She left for an early retirement in the government sector and joined the private sector in the year 2005 as the position of Dean Faculty of Nursing at Midwifery at Mazar University, Malaysia. Her expertise includes management, curriculum development, and care of the elderly. She has also presented several papers on nursing education in Malaysia at national and international level on contemporary issues in nursing, documentation in nursing process, mentoring, leadership, change management, and evidence-based practice. She is also the member of Malaysian Nursing Board for 3 terms till 2007. As a contribution in the professional association, she has been appointed as the chairman for the special interest group in education under the umbrella of Malaysian Nurses Association. On the 11th September 2010, she was awarded by ICN as the first Malaysian senior nurse to receive the fellowship to attend the Nursing Global Leadership Institute in Geneva, Switzerland under the Birdet Trust. As part of her ongoing personal and professional development, she is currently a member of Global Nursing Leadership Institute and a member of Global Allied Nursing and Midwifery. She is the founder of Al Falah Z Care, the NGO services for the elderly in Malaysia. She had received many awards as an appreciation for her contributions and services in nursing profession. She had been awarded Excellent Service Rewards by State Director of Health and Director of Health Malacca State. At national level, she received the Most Supportive Healthcare Professional from Direct General Ministry of Health. At national level, she received a award from Malaysian Professional Body MOH and Malaysian Nurses Association as a champion for education, Toko Jurawat in education. Ma'am, really it's our pleasure to have such an eminent speaker. Our participants are eagerly waiting to hear your words, ma'am. So I hand over the session to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning in India. Here in Malaysia is afternoon. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizing committee for this awesome webinar, and to the PSG College of Nursing, Tamil Nadu, India, Dr. Jaya and the team, and good day to our distinguished speakers from Bahrain, Singapore, and Indonesia. We love to meet everyone virtually today. And of course, good day to all the participants and our beloved nurses. First of all, again, I would like to congratulate this kind of webinar, and understand this is the second webinar with related topic. And we are facing this pandemic for the second year. We have to continue life as usual, and the nursing education have to continue. As what the saying goes, this is, I would like to share this from the wise man words. It's very important for us to continue what is happened today. What happened yesterday is history. What happened tomorrow is mystery. But what is happened now is reality. So we are now to be together to face all the challenges. Because as another words of wisdom said here, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. So here we are going to discuss on the nursing education in the pandemic. Yeah. Okay. So can I share the first slide, please? The first slide.
First slide.
My presentation is based on 30 minutes given to me. I will share on the overview of the presentation. Can somebody share the slide with me? On the screen, is it on the screen?
Ma'am, we are sharing the slide, ma'am.
Already?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, so I can see on the screen here. You already share with the rest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so maybe I just go through. Okay. It's already on?
Not running yet.
Okay,
Yes. Okay.
Oh, actually this one is the second slide. The one is the second slide. I have two. Anyway, never mind. I can share with you first before we go to the the change, the pandemic, the nursing education. Just introduce my university. We are running with 12 program, and university we have diploma in nursing, from diploma in nursing up to PhD. We have the diploma, we have the advanced diploma, we have the certificate in renal nursing, and also we have bachelor, master up to PhD. Okay, so altogether, so far since 2005 till now, we have trained we have more than 10,000 graduates. Yeah, next slide, please. Can you go to the next slide? Okay, so being the largest nursing school in Malaysia, we offering all this program, and we have to make sure now our program is meeting the pandemic situation. So how we going to meet the pandemic situation will be outside. And then this is how the situation will be. Okay, next one. Okay, yes. So we are offering this for the nursing education, and not only for our local, we are offering for this nursing education for all our nurses, all our enrollment based on this situation now. We open everyone to join us. In this pandemic, we can have blended learning, we can have online learning, and also the way we conduct is to meet the student need. Okay, and this is how very important for the student support. These are the program that we have with us. And next, okay, next one.
It's not seen anywhere.
Yes, these are the program we have. We have also bachelor and also the diploma, then also the post basic. Just next one, please. Okay, next one. Okay, this is the program that I have mentioned. Just go to the next one. Okay. To show our credential, we have many international partner with us, then academic industry, in the academic partners as well. So we have few who are now with. We have few industry partner and the academic partner. Next one, please. Next slide, please. Okay. Next, just next slide, please. Okay. Yeah. So we are going to go to the topic by itself. Okay. Okay. Can you share with me the first slide that I prepared? The nursing education in the pandemic.
May I request the delegates, please mute your audio. Sorry, ma'am, please continue.
Yeah. I just want to share these wise man words. When a person decides to become a nurse, they make the most important decision of their life. They choose to dedicate themselves to the care of others. Next slide. Yeah. So when you want to be a nurse, male or female, you can be a nurse. Yeah. You are a nurse when you know that every day you will touch a life will touch yours. Next. Okay. So next one will be the topic for today. Can you show me the next slide for the topic of the today? Nursing education in the pandemic. Okay, the moderator, please. I have another PowerPoint presentation on the nursing education in the pandemic. Another one. I have two. I have the topic by itself. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. We are just doing it. We are just.
Yeah, okay, okay. Please let me know how many minutes more to go.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
நிஜமா யாருமே இல்ல இந்த பிள்ளைங்க யாராவது ஒருத்தங்க ஹெல்ப்
Okay,
பண்ணாங்க.
while waiting for the slide, I would like to share here the most important here is in this situation, student support is very important. The challenges during the nursing education in pandemic, the student support is very important. Yeah. Okay, how you design the program to show your support. So this is about that. Yeah, we must prepare. We have to come up with a good program. The program development and student support service, everything is it should be there to support. Okay. Are you ready? Not yet? You have sorry, do you have a problem in showing the screen?
Yes, ma'am. You can just continue. We will join in another 5 minutes with your other PowerPoint, ma'am.
Okay. Otherwise, I think show mine, is it?
Yeah,
You can.
from there, ma'am. You can share your slides. You can share screen. You have
Okay.
been to share screen. You can share it. Share screen
Share screen, okay.
and your file, your presentation. Yes, ma'am. It's visible now.
Okay. The one you are sharing now, you can share already?
No, we have not shared it. Your screen we can see now.
Okay. Can you see now?
Now we can see your screen, ma'am. Nursing
Okay.
in pandemic.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it's getting downloaded.
Yes. Okay. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am. Can
Yeah.
you
Okay.
slide view?
Okay. Okay. This is the topic given to me. The topic given to me on the nursing education in pandemic and prism of possibility. Yes. So already introduced myself, my humble introduction. Thank you, the moderator. I would like to share the objective because we want to enhance learning strategies with current situation. So what is the current situation? The situational awareness as to the spread of the outbreak. Everywhere is pandemic and global pandemic, because it implication for the nursing profession. So this is how we are going to prepare, strategize and preparedness and respond activities and helpful guidance for developing contingency plan for schools and healthcare organizations. So my presentation, I have shared with you just now on the nursing education at Malaysia in our university, and in general for MASA, we have more than 12 programs, then more than 15 programs in nursing education in our MASA university. For the overview of this presentation, I just would like to brief on the Malaysian scenario, followed by the COVID-19 challenges, and we have shared some of the nursing program in our university and the role of the nurses, as I mentioned earlier, And what are the learning strategy to accommodate with the new norm? So I end with the message here. Okay. So the situation now is, you can see our scenario now. Every day our Director General will make the announcement. What is the number, the new cases daily? So we have reached up to 23,000 over. And yesterday, I can say Alhamdulillah, reduced to almost only 17,000. But the cases in certain state is still increasing. So we have like zone 1, zone 2, up to zone 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is red zone, which is orange, and which is the green zone. So with this, we must aware, and we have to ensure the nursing education with the current practice. The conventional we have to change because of the new norm. Because of this pandemic, which started in year 2020, we have our MCO lockdown in March 2020, the lockdown in March 2020, and it affect all over 188 countries, and we, Malaysia, also not left alone, and the number increasing daily during that time, the disease spread, and the global affected. This is the pandemic. So when the pandemic happened, what happened? The situation now, we have to make the adjustment in our nursing education. We have to follow the SOP, the standard operation procedure, that the class for the face-to-face, we have to follow the decision from the policymaker. So the institution of the higher education, this is what confirm that we have to follow the advice from the higher education. We have our learning strategy for our student with regard to the class, with the clinical posting, and also for the curriculum, we stay maintain the same. In the nursing education, the practice and the theory illuminate each other. Yeah, this is what we are talking about the nursing curriculum. See, remember, theory and practice illuminate each other. Without theory, practice is unintelligent. So without practice, theory is not understood. So how we going to make sure our student be able to understand on the theory? We still can continue instead of face-to-face. We still can move on to online and the electronic teaching and so forth. How about the practice? Of course, they will be suspended for during that period. Only a certain number only allowed, because they have to maintain the SOP. The student cannot all used to go 8, 10 to one area in the clinical practice during the clinical posting. So now we cannot send. So we have to send the student in the simulation. So this one is pertaining to clinical practice. So we have to ensure the student follow, and we have to complete the syllabus accordingly. As what the earlier Dr. Jaya mentioned just now, many students did not graduate on time. Same in Malaysia also, in masa our students also a delay of 1 semester, 6 months, because of this delay graduation, because they did not complete their clinical practice. Say during the 3 years program in the nursing education, they have to go for theory practice within that 6 semester. But during this one happening, 2020, the final year student, they can't go for the practical. So they have to be delayed. That's why delay around 1 semester. So later on, what are the options? So we have to find the option by finding or collaborate with other industrial partner. We have our other hospital to accept our students. We have more than 20 government hospital for the student posting. However, because of this COVID, they cannot be attached there because of the SOP. We have to follow. Instead of sending 10 students, we only send 4 students. So how long we can finish? They will be delayed. So in the effort of ensuring the student will be able to complete their clinical practice, we are looking for more hospitals to collaborate with us to accept our students. That is our strategy. So we move, of course, suspension of the non-clinical courses, suspend in-person classes to attend from physically and face-to-face. We move course content to online course, software, platform, everything, because to meet this pandemic situation. So the situation, like see the crowded in this photo, the first photo, no more. We are not going to have this kind. It's already prohibited. The class or the auditorium, instead of occupying 500, now only can occupy 200. So that is the situation. Sorry. So we have to cancel all non-essential travel. We have to cancel all extracurricular activities, cancel student, staff, faculty gathering, and ensure continuity of education still by online, by electronic, and that platform. So this is what we are doing now. So this is the nurses role that I mentioned. When it comes to the clinical placement and patient interaction, student nurses are part of the member and the placement and level of involvement in the patient care. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, I think the okay. Sorry, I have to share again because just now is okay. Okay, in the teaching and learning, our School of Nursing, in my effort as part of the curriculum development, we have to be able to review the syllabus and not to say review all, but especially on the infection control and prevention. This is very important. And infection control and prevention contact can be important because of the situation now in the pandemic. So this is what I am sharing with you, that we want to inform our nurses that we want them to keep safe. We have the surveillance, detection, isolation, quarantine, all this standard and proper hygiene, wash hand, everything to be in place. So this is what the challenges that we face in our pandemic. Yeah. So this is again, I want to show to you all. This is the student. 3 of them are from Maldives. They're with us And because of the pandemic, they can't come during that time. They cannot make it. They are not coming for the face-to-face class. Everything is online. They continue the class at their home country, and they also can have their posting at their own hospital. So this is how we preparing our student in terms of the clinical placement. This is part of the health education. We normally would like to make sure our students, also our nurses, are well aware of this kind of professional knowledge. And also we would like to share with you here, this is our COVID-19 quarantine center. When the patient been infected, then they will send to this place at quarantine center. Yeah, okay. Just sharing. Okay, I have another two slide since the time is only given 30 minutes. So nursing student as workforce extended for the outbreak, this continue, and we want to develop contingency staffing plan. We have come out how the enrollment, how the enrollment, how is the placement, how the senior student can take over the level of skills. This also we look into everything to put in order so that the staffing mix is there. Okay, and we have some national nurse response team. We have the extra nurses that help in the premise. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So everything go back to the e-learning online, and we now with the e-learning, we have to be prepared. We have good support system to our student. Because of this situation, we have to come out with a good support system, which is very important. We want to design and to make the program is really supportive to the student, and also we ensure the good delivery of the program, and we also want to encourage more innovation. Okay, we have also a form of discussion, project, group project. We have debate. We have forum, and the student also can conduct the conference. Like today, I think the master student from your college conducting this program, that is very good. Yeah. So the most important, you understand here, the advantage of e-learning, easy access, and still maintain the quality, quality, flexibility, effective media, and the different learning style. We have to understand that this is different learning style. Of course, some may say disadvantage of costly, lack of equipment if they don't have facilities. Some maybe with the negative attitude, feeling like isolation. People still want to come and mix around here, but that is for some individual. So this is about the advantages and the disadvantages. Okay, the take-home message here. I hope everybody will continue your study. Some of you may be in the final year, some of you beginning of the year. But as a nurse, there's no finishedness. A nurse should be a lifelong learner. As a nurse, you still have to continue your professional knowledge. Continue your professional knowledge. You have to keep up your knowledge, because a nurse who graduate today stop learning tomorrow is uneducated the day after. So a lifelong learning is our culture, no matter whether it's in the pandemic or in the normal situation. We are still a lifelong learner. We have to study. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Zahra, for the elaborate sharing of your experience, and you have taken us virtually the COVID center also. It was really good. Thank you so much. Ma'am, can you stop sharing your screen, ma'am?
Thank you, ma'am. If not phenomenal, I don't know what else to call the presentation you just gave. Sending a mighty thank you for the way amazing session. Once again, I thank you, ma'am, for a million of words and incredibly thought-provoking this session. We are deeply grateful for this session. We again thank you, ma'am. I would like to invite my next speaker. Each teacher's experience is a new learning for a new beginning. So I take it as a privilege to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Leena Mohammed Konji, Assistant Professor, College of Health, Sports and Sciences, University of Bahrain, Director of WHO Collaborating Center for Nursing Development, Bahrain, and she is the Chairperson of Nursing Department, Acting Chairperson of Allied Health Department, and her areas of expertise include nursing education, midwifery, maternal and newborn nursing, women's health issues, research methodologies, and quality assurance. And work experiences include, she is an assistant professor, nursing department, College of Health and Sciences currently, and she had over 10 years of experiences in clinical practice as a nurse and midwife at Salmania Medical Complexes, and member at the Quality Assurance Authority Center at University Bahrain, representing the Nursing Department, College of Health Sciences, and member of Internal Midwifery and Women's Health Research Group, University of Manchester, and member in the Rafaida Hana Society of Nursing, Sigma Theta Tau International Society of Nursing, and she is a reviewer at Journal Nurse Education at Practices, published by Elsevier in 2012, and she is a keynote speaker at Euro Midwifery and Women's Health Conferences in London 2017, and she has participated as keynote speakers and presenters in local, regional, and international nursing midwifery conferences. And we are very happy to have you, ma'am. Now the platform is yours, ma'am.
Dr. Leena, would you like to share the slides? Can you unmute yourself? Yes, ma'am. Slideshow, ma'am.
Can you see the screen or not yet?
We could see the screen. Can you have it in slideshow, ma'am?
Yeah. Sorry for this.
After animation, slideshow is there, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. It's my great pleasure to be with you all today in today's webinar. Thank you for the welcome introduction, and special thanks to Dr. Zaya for her invitation to participate in this webinar. My presentation is about the journey of nursing department at University of Bahrain during COVID-19. The outline of my presentation will talk about the interruption caused by COVID-19 in nursing education, some of the challenges that we went through and the lessons that we learned throughout the interruption happened during the time of COVID-19 and until the date. And then I will be giving you the brief description about our experience as nursing department at the University of Bahrain, which is the main governmental institute for nursing education in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and reflecting the experience using the acronym SAFE. And at the end, we have the closing and summary. Actually, I will be talking about our experience as one of the nursing school in the kingdom, and it might be also that experience similar to other countries' experience before COVID-19. Our life was normal. We were having our sessions going on with the students' presence to the campus, having hands-on teaching in the lab, in the hospitals, and everything was fine during the period before COVID-19. We had our own activities, as we can see here, one of the activities which was Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We had ongoing hands-on practices in the skill lab under the supervision, direct supervisions of the clinical educator or the academic faculty at the department. All of a sudden, when the COVID-19 being declared as a pandemic all over the world, we had an interruption, and same as other countries all over the world. And this started by March 2020, where we had the interruption of the study, of the work, and many other governmental entities also been affected by COVID-19, and we went through the process of having partial lockdown in the initial period till we started to move a little bit through the process more smoothly. So in response to the pandemic, when the number of cases started to increase in the Kingdom of Bahrain, there was like a national call by the government to have volunteer nurses and all other healthcare providers to be as a frontline providers helping the country to combat the coronavirus. And also there was a lot of the initiative at governmental level, at kingdom level, for tackling the unexpected emergency situation that we went through. So the interruption, if I will be reflecting on the education field, I'm sure that all of us, we had a similar situation, although we have different context differences in each country, but the education sector was all over the world similar among all countries. The interruptions affected the nursing school in a way that the schools started to work remotely, and there was like closures of the physical presence of the closures of the schools, which affected also the presence of any academic staff or the students to the schools or the universities. Everyone started to work remotely, either the students or the employee and the academic staff themselves. Shut down places for social gatherings, and it was strictly emphasized during all over the previous months by the government, and we were trying as much as possible to follow these instructions. There was like a protocol for quarantine returning citizens from countries with different cases and having different protocols at the beginning period of time, and the protocols being updated and changed according to the situation in the country, as well as the number of the cases per day. And at that time there was a big load on the government itself, and take a very huge responsibility in providing financial support in different ways to the governmental and non-governmental entities, to the people, to the those who are having their own business, and so on, and even helping the people in a way of having such a kind of needed measures to maintain the isolations and other stuff. Maybe one of the outcome of the interruptions that we went through, that we were at that time having the debate among all the countries level about the vaccinations, whether that time the vaccines will be available and which vaccines to take and which will be approved by the country. So also this caused as such interruptions, thinking about something new that we went through it all as citizens in the country. Describing our experience in terms of one of the nursing schools and the government is very important, because I believe that when we are having such webinar and gathering among different school of nursing stakeholders, students, some of the, let's say, academic staff, we can learn from each other. So we have learned from the Malaysian experience, and now I'd like to describe to you the Bahraini experience. I can describe our experience as one of the nursing institutes in the Kingdom of Bahrain using the acronym SAFE. And each letter in this word has a meaning in my presentation. SAFE reflects four main attributes of our experience, which is the student, assessment, faculty, and explore more. Actually, this acronym I have developed this acronym always to describe my experience as a leader in this institute, and also as based on the outcome of the expressions that I heard from the academic staff as well as the students regarding the COVID-19 interruptions and the situation that we went through. Talking about the student, well, I will be talking about each attribute of the SAFE acronym. I will be tackling it from the positive and let's say the negative part of it. And maybe I can say it's negative than it is a challenge. And also the positive part, what we have learned, the lessons learned from each experience. Talking about the students, what were the challenges that we went through throughout the previous period? As I mentioned, there was a sudden interruption in the students' study life. They were having so much worries and concerns, worries about how they will study in the particular semester, how they can meet the course objectives, the clinical needs and the expected outcome, how they will study remotely. It was a totally new experience for the students because we never had online teaching methodologies in the nursing education. We were totally relying on physical presence at the campus and having the sessions going on with a normal traditional way. Students had some fears about how to complete the courses, when to be graduated, whether this will affect their employment, especially the senior students who were expected to be graduated during that time. Lots of worries about the clinical practice. The students were thinking whether they will be allowed to go to the clinical and how they will be facing the situations, having some COVID cases. Are they prepared? And how they can go back to home and coming from the hospitals, and they might have had some contact with the people of COVID-19. So a lot of worries associated with the clinical practice itself. The level of the learners, it was also a very important issue. We have different level of the students who can adapt to the new situations, go smoothly into the remote learning, and some of the students had some challenges because they have some different characteristic or different circumstances or situation different than others. The priorities, it was very important also for us to think about the students themselves, who are near to be graduated versus those students who are the junior students who are in the process of building up their competencies and they are in need to be enrolled in the clinical situation and practices, real practices. It was also very important to know from the students what are the essential versus non-essential clinical activities, what are the main important clinical practices that the student need to master during their clinical allocation throughout those periods, and what is also can be postponed for other allocation. These are the challenges. Talking about the positive part of it, the lessons that we learned in regards to the students, it was also one of the most important responsibilities for us as a clinical instructor, educator, stakeholders, manager, to reassure the students. And reassuring the students was our main priority. We tried as much as possible to keep everyone relaxed, calm, and feeling trust that everything will be going fine, and we are all working in line with the national entity instructions and guidelines. We tried as much as possible as academic staff to be clear and very close to the students. Our academic staffs were working very hard as an academic advisor, supervising the students and advising them, counseling them in certain situations. And we had a close monitoring for the students whenever they had some contact with the COVID-19 cases, whether at the hospital or even at home. We were guiding and directing them. Keeping them informed and within the process, it was really important, and it was one of the effective measures that we took during that period of time. We were having like frequent meeting with the students, updating them and letting them to know what is coming next and what is the modifications or changes that will take place in the plan in regards to the clinical and the theory part. Acceptance was very one of the most important things that we noticed among our students, and even among like the senior and the junior students, as well as they had the feeling that they are clear, having a coaching system from the teaching faculty. They started to have the acceptance, and this was also not at the students level themselves. It was among everyone in the country. When things started to be clear and settled, then everyone started to accept the situations and think about what's the new movement or transition that we need to move on in order to cope with the current situation. Our students actually, I can say, one of the most important or positive learned lessons that our students learned during that period, that they had the insight and the feeling that they are part of the system. And this created a sense of responsibility among our students, not at a level of a student in a class. No, it was at a level of a student in the kingdom. The students played a very important role at national level. They started to volunteer with the national team in combating the virus, and it was voluntarily from them without any directions or instructions from the organization itself. It was their own passion to help the country to stand against the pandemic. We can see here in the picture some of the students, senior students who participated in the national team in different isolation centers and different hospitals, health centers, helping the country in combating the virus. Going to the second acronym, which is A, is the assessment. The challenges that we face, actually, it's all related to ourselves as academic staff. That time, when we moved to the virtual teaching and learning system, it was the time to review and think about our assessment method in terms of having the assessment for the theory part, the lab part, and the clinical part, where when we were totally following the on-campus teaching and learning methodology and suddenly moved to the virtual methodology, it was very important to consider alternative assessment method, having different scenario for course grading. We started with the first semester having a pass and fail grading system, but then for the following semesters, we returned back to the normal grading system and adopting a new assessment methodology. We were at that time at the first semester thinking about how we can accommodate the e-learning, simulation, and distance learning within our teaching methodology. It was a very important challenge for us, but the following semesters we started to be settled and we went through the process very smoothly. Most of the academic staff started to be engaged in a new experience of having a new assessment methodologies, accommodating the online assessment way. We started to have the OSCE online, the demonstrations and the demonstrations, certain procedures, all as online sessions. It was also for us as an academic staff during setting up our assessment method to review also our curriculum, the assessment method in order to be in a way that considering what is nice to know for the student and what is needed to know during that particular of time, because it was very challenging to adopt all the assessment methods in a way that accommodates the virtual learning. The lessons that we learned, it was a transitional plan. We had it. We moved very smoothly to the online process. We had the Digital Transformation Committee working as a support system for all the faculty during that period of time. We started to utilize the Blackboard more and the Microsoft Teams, and started to have all the online assessment, the quizzes and the exams all through those platforms. We had a very clear pathway of the assessment methods. And this helped us also during that time to review the curriculum, and this all was shared with the faculty. We started to review also our policies, and the most important lessons that we learned during reviewing the assessment, that we were flexible, and we learned that the flexibility is the key. Regarding the faculty, the F, which is the challenges, it was a very challenging situation where the faculty started to work remotely because it needs some competencies and working with those new technologies, getting like used to the new platforms, moving suddenly from having face-to-face teaching to teaching online with the students, accommodating big number of the students online, the preparedness for the faculty physically, emotionally to go and teach online. And it was like some of the interruption or disturbance that some of the faculty passed through, which means that they had to move from their comfort zone and to go into the totally new experience and system. The lessons learned among faculty are all, I can say, our academic staffs were dedicated, following the instructions and guidelines provided by the university, the Digital Transformation Committee. There was a visible teamwork among the staff, mutual support. Everyone became IT friendly, and we started to adapt to the new system smoothly. And we learned from that period that each academic staff should be ready for any contingency, for any emergency situation, and to have a contingency plan in terms of teaching and learning methodology. And it was also one of the learned, I can say, learned issue that we noticed, that most of the faculty started to have the openness to a new era of teaching and learning. Those who were having a little bit rigidity at the beginning to move toward the maybe the online OSCE or online examinations, they started to adapt to the situations, started to be more flexible, and they realized that time it was very effectively working. Although we all agree up to date that nothing can compensate the real practice, real face-to-face situations of teaching and learning, but still we are ready to go in any emergency situations to the online remote teaching. Explore more is the E, the challenges. We started because we were like required to move to the online teaching and learning, so started to explore the resources. We started to look at the other platforms, other alternative methods that assist us to implement the online teaching, especially for the clinical part. This was during the first period of the COVID-19, where we were just having everything online. But the following semesters, actually, we moved to the hybrid system. We had the theory part online, and all the clinical practices was going on as previous period before COVID-19. In the clinical situations, all the students having their measures, the precautions provided by the hospital, and following all the policies and regulations of the national team, as well as the hospitals, and all the clinical practices went very smoothly throughout those 3 following semesters. Although we had some of the COVID cases among the students, but we had also during that time, one of the resources that we have, our database, tracking our students, guiding them, supporting them, till they they recovered, and then they do their makeup clinical days. So the resources actually was very difficult to identify during the first semester of COVID-19, which was March till June 2020. But the following semesters, we were tackling the clinical part very effectively as a normal situation. We had at that time to explore more about the like having some modifications in the clinical plan, some of the time constraints. We started to reduce sometimes the number of days of the clinical exposures for in certain courses in order to accommodate bigger number of the students with less ratio in the clinical sites, in order to avoid any cross-infections or like working against the instructions of the national team and having a gathering a big number of students in certain wards or a clinical allocation. One of the challenges was like to face the reality when the students will go to the clinical sites and face the reality that the hospital is working under pandemic situation and everything is being changed. Many of the wards being closed, many of the like units being moved to COVID-19. So the student, they have to adapt to the sudden changes happening during the clinical time, which related to their clinical allocations and training practices. The lessons learned during that period, interprofessional collaborations actually was one of the lessons that we learned during that time. We had collaborations among different departments, different healthcare providers, different stakeholders, supporting our students' clinical learning throughout the period. We received a lot of thanking letter at governmental level related to our nursing students' activities and volunteering efforts at all isolation centers at the Kingdom level, and it was really very positively affected the emotional status of our students. They felt that they are rewarded for all their volunteer activities, as well as also their practice and role during the clinical allocation period time. In the last semester in the academic year 2020-2020, we have a group of students. They had the full experience in one of the isolation center, and we accommodate that clinical practice as one of the clinical learning experience of the students doing the community nursing course, and they participated in the vaccination campaign of the country. And also we had received a lot of appreciation letters from the stakeholders in the country. We started all faculty, students, stakeholders, university itself, the kingdom itself, understanding the new normal. Now we are all aware about the new normal, new situation, the preparedness, the contingency plan. Anything will happen, we know how we can move to the traditional way, hybrid system, or going to the total online system. Now we are working at all governmental entities and even the private sectors in the kingdom in line with the national instructions, national team instructions. We are working according to the 4 levels of action. Now we are in the green level, which means that we have more of the flexibilities in having the students on campus, having visitors entering the campus, but still we are following the precautions, wearing the mask and social distancing. We are moving from one line to another line, or one level to another level, according to the number of reported cases in the kingdom. So we are expected that anytime we move to any other level, some of the levels we are having restrictions in having the students on the campus, or having any visitors or unvaccinated people coming to the campus. So we are ready for any changes, any interruption, and we are moving in line with the levels allocated by the national team and the country. We are having the preparedness actually during the current semester to resume to the study, and having some of the campus sessions going on, having the students attending the skill lab, and the clinical practice will go smoothly as was going at the previous 3 semesters. We're also working very hard currently in and planning for the alternatives, which is having one of the projects that we were working on it in the previous months and working now into the implementation stage, which is having a functioning state-of-the-art nursing simulation lab at the department, which can accommodate a bigger number of the students, can practice in the state-of-the-art, and we can reduce the load on the clinical sites and reducing also the cross infections and also reducing the number of the students per each clinical unit or allocation in a way to help the other hospitals to tackle the current situation. So I can say that the lessons that we learned from this journey a lot, but some of the most important lessons that nursing students and faculty preparedness for future crises such as communicable diseases outbreak is very important. We learned that at the initial period of time that we were not that much prepared, but we explored, we looked at the challenges, and we started to implement and face the reality and be ready for the unexpected situation. The second lessons that we learned during the period was related to the clinical practice. Student nurses are valuable members of the healthcare team. We cannot isolate them from the whole system and saying that let's continue having online system rather than having the hybrid or the traditional teaching and learning method. No, the student has a responsibility to be part of the team, even if they are a student, not even, I can say at a university level, but it has to be expanded at the national level as we had the volunteer activities of the students. We need to develop contingency clinical practice plan and protective actions regarding how nursing students might be allowed to go into the clinical setting during any pandemic situation, whether COVID-19 or even any unexpected situations in the future. Senior students have the level of skills that will be helpful, and they may be valuable additions to the staffing mixing and can take many duties of the RNs. And this is the reality that happened. Most of the senior students played a very important role during the pandemic and helped the different health institutions and combating the virus. Our nursing students worked in shifted duties, although they were having their commitment as a student enrolled in some of the courses throughout their study period. The third lesson was related to the curriculum. Public health functions, assessment, policy development, and quality assurance is very important to be integrated within the nursing curriculum. Emergency preparedness at societal level is important. Public communication and, as individual, family, group, and society is very important in order to have a better comprehensive curriculum, include all the aspects related to the nurses' practices. So if I will think loudly with you about the experience and recalling back what we went through and reflecting on the whole journey, I can see that we managed the interruption safely, and still we are continuously working hard to plan more and more and be ready for any unexpected situation. Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm lost for the right adjectives to describe how much we enjoyed your presentation today, especially to describe your experience. You came up with your acronym SAFE, and the last 3 lessons and how you explained the components of SAFE. It was really a mind-opening session for us. Your remarkable presentation made this webinar an exceptionally stimulating and informative one. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Leena.
Thank you, Dr. Jaya.
Not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. So next speaker, I'm very elated to introduce our next speaker. She is Director of Nursing Academic of Fatmawati, Indonesia. She began her
Zoom meeting.
from St. Carlos, Jakarta, Indonesia, where she finished her Bachelor of Nursing, and in University of Indonesia, completed her Masters, and currently she is pursuing her PhD at Lincoln University College. She undertook a lot of training programs such as assessor training organized by Indonesian National Nurses Association and participated in BTCLS training held in Fatmawati Nursing Academy. Through her hard work and perseverance, she is now the Director of Nursing Academic of Fatmawati. She has been a member of American Women's Club in New York and Brasilia City, 1983 to 1988, and International Ladies Society in Germany from 1991 to 1996. She imprinted her footprints by publishing many articles in both national and international level. We are very thrilled to have you, ma'am. Now I pass the spotlight over to you, ma'am.
Close பண்ணணும்னு தெரியலையே.
So, can I share? Okay, can I share my slide?
இது அவங்களோடது எதுவும் பண்ணல.
Okay, I share by myself my slide.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. You want us to share, ma'am, or you will share it?
Okay, I share by myself. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. And can we have it in slideshow? Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. My name is Nashwar Devi. I'm from Indonesia. Right now, I'm working at the Fatmawati Academy of Nursing. And thank you very much for Professor Jayasuda and a team to organize this event. And thank you and nice to meet you all for the expert lecture. Professor Zara from Mazda University and Dr. Lena from Kingdom of Bahrain University, and another one is Mr. Okay, I forgot. Mr. from Singapore. Thank you very much. I try to share my experience during I working at the Academy of Nursing. So my presentation, first I would like to introduce introduction and the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on nursing education and strategies for effective teaching and learning in nursing education, finally touch and conclusion. So I think every people knows that COVID-19 is a fatal viral infection can lead to death, particularly it's individually due and impair immunity, and to date, no intervention to available to prevent COVID-19. Impact the COVID-19 economic, social, and the health situation most vulnerable group. In fact, in education, students are unable to go to school. Elderly has limited no access to pension. So, who are the most vulnerable group affected by COVID pandemic? Of course, children, elderly, people with disability, and informal sector workers. Government policy on the COVID-19 pandemic, so stay home and self-isolate. If you feel unwell, even with mild symptoms, clean hands frequently with soap and water for 15 seconds or with alcohol-based hand rub for 20 seconds. Cover your nose and mouth with disable tissue or fixed elbow when you cough or sneeze. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Maintain minimum physical distancing at least 1 meter from other. Stay away from crowds and stay away from pure ventilation indoor. Use a fabric mesh where a physical distancing of at least 1 meter is not possible. Use a medical surgical mask if you may be at higher risk. So, in my country, Indonesian government policy, the strategy to avoid infection COVID-19, do 3T testing, tracing, and treats, and do immunization all the people, and then using a mask and washing hand and physical distancing. So, what is the impact COVID-19 pandemic nursing education? The COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted education system around the world. Nursing education was no exception. Many institutions halted nursing student training to limit their exposure in direct patient care. Nursing students cannot complete their required clinical education hour. This hires students to reach sufficient skill level in competence. So, in fact, the COVID-19 pandemic, students stay from home, teaching is done from home, individuals to face COVID-19 infection. Reality, our institution, Nursing Academic of Padmawati, Jakarta, face-to-face teaching was switched to online learning using different virtual platforms. Relatively rapid and smooth adoption online learning e-learning. Clinical stimulation was used with adequate resource enhanced clinical learning. This adaptation learning modality have several positive outcomes, including increased flexibility, student-centered learning, and shared access learning. The negative effect students' ability to learn is largely due to lack of access to internet, data, allowance, and lack of home resources. The institution policy for nursing students, all hospitals in Indonesia are closed for nursing students to practice. This is to avoid spreading COVID infection. This is a policy by government. All nursing students are postponed or practicing until a situation stabilized. All learning and teaching activity were done online. Some practicing are done in laboratory with a very restrictive health protocol. For example, I do in my laboratory in restricted person. If the capacity of room 10%, but I just permit 3% in laboratory with one teacher. So, and short time, if must be 3 hours in laboratory, but I just permit 1.5 hours. So, duration, nominal of people, and time, we restrict. So beside that, using the health protocol restrictive test antigen first from home, and then bring to the campus with negative result, and then using double mesh, and facial, and then wash hand every touching something. And then after decrease, After decrease of the COVID infection, hospital permit practicing nursing student with restricted on 2020. I have done the practicing for the student with the restricted time. Only half a time for true time must be practicing at the hospital. For example, must be 7 hours every day practicing in the normal situation. But in the COVID-19, we just permit 3.5 hours, and then 5 weeks must be practicing, and then we cut only 4 weeks practicing at this hospital. This is all permitted by the my government policy. All learning and teaching must be go on during pandemic. So if the learning theory we can do by online, but laboratory we just restricting a time and duration time person with the restrictive protocol, health protocol. And all the modification.
Totally, how many points will be there in this period?
Okay, so its strategies to evaluate effectiveness
What's your
to
name?
teaching and learning.
Finally, we have to complete with the documentations.
One, knowledge to technology. This is new to everyone. To familiarize yourself with the technology. Be prepared to troubleshoot and let your student know you are working on it. Create and maintain strong presence. Send a message to all students when possible to welcome them online learning and reassure them. Use video chat, then increasing with student talking, beginning discussion in forum, then contributing regularly, and often responses to a question. Complete your profile with professional and personal traits. So set clear expectation for the course. Online learning is new on the student as well. Make clear to student how their grade and course will be determined now. For instance, participant. Set expectation for response time. For example, make clear that you will respond to email within 1 business day. Otherwise, students may expect you to answer email within a few hours, and this engages if you do. Share research for students on how to be an online learner. Establish sense of comfort and develop community of learners. Demonstrate enthusiasm and excitement about teaching the course to elevate fear, anxiety, and isolation. Humanize yourself by posting a welcome video, biography, photos, and tell stories about what you are doing to keep busy during social isolation. Ask a question, empower participants to question each other and elicit rich discussion. Promote reflection and communication. Return to post topics that have not been fully discussed and promote contribution and reflection. Monitor participation and contact students individually if they are either not participating or are taking over conversation and not permitting contribution from other individuals. Have a good balance of community learner and student. You will begin the course as the manager of the learning community. As the course progresses, slowly transfer and responsibility to the community of learners. The online community building will help with this. You should also gradually retract further out of communal discussion. Request regular feedback and be mindful of misinterpretation. Check in with your student to see how things are going. You can do formal or informal survey to assess attitude, workload, and challenges. Make course correction as necessary. We are all learning. Use ad hoc quizzes to assess learner comprehension of material. Regularly check content, resources, and application. Regularly check all links, resource models, and activity. Online content can move or change, which can lead to disengagement. Assess students who are having difficulty navigating course link or managing the material spreading across various web pages. Okay. Final thoughts and conclusion. E-learning was implementation as substitute during the pandemic. Almost half of the nursing students show that a positive attitude regarding e-learning. Majority of the students had internet problem and technology issue. E-learning can be vital alternative teaching method and learning in nursing field. If learning can be made user-friendly with reduced technical barriers, supplemented with programs that can enhance practical learning ability. Limited learning by doing, I mean limited practicing during pandemic COVID-19 in my institution because of the government policy. We just follow the government policy that restricted. If the zone red zone must be close all activity. But if the green zone, we permit just 30% of students can study in laboratory, but the theory, all the theory must be online learning. Okay. Some tips to maintain our health. Physical exercise has a lot of health benefits. It helps to prevention of several chronic disease. Exercise also plays key role promoting immune system regulation, and those could prevent risk occurring COVID-19 infection. We should aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate physical exercise per day, such as walking and simple aerobic. We should also maintain mental health by getting enough rest and sleep at least 7 till 8 hours a day, doing some physical activity outdoor around your house, eating healthy, regularly checking with friends and family by online. Okay, I would like to press again. During my student practicing at the hospital, it is a very restrict time, restrict health protocol. For example, before students come to the hospital must get in test first, and then if a negative, she permit to continue practicing, and then using the mask, double mask, and then using the clothes and washing every time. This is a restrict policy of the hospital. And before that, we have to getting a exit permit from the parent first. If the parent not permit to practicing at the hospital, must be postpone the practicing that student. So our institution right now is not until postpone one semester, but maybe 1 until 2 months postpone, but I can finish it in properly semester, not at the semester. Thank you very much. Okay, stay healthy. Thank you. And wish month. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
The 8 strategies that you have discussed to evaluate the effectiveness of teaching and learning was really helpful. And thank you for your valuable time and presence. Thank you, ma'am, once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please stop sharing your screen?
Okay.
An expert gives an objective view. He gives his own view. I take it as a golden opportunity to introduce the man of excellence, our last speaker. He is Mr. Thomas Mohan Felix, Senior Lecturer and Program Lead, Parkway College of Nursing and Allied Health, Singapore. He's a senior lecturer with over 13 years of experience. He's a registered nurse in Singapore, Malaysia and India, and is actively participating in Singapore now. His professional qualifications are postgraduate diploma in higher education, Singapore, advanced certificate in learning and performance, Singapore, Master of Science in Nursing, Psychiatric Nursing, Master of Science in Psychology, postgraduate diploma in hospital administration, Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Currently, he is appointed as the program lead for Patient Care Associate Program and Basic Mental Health First Aid Provider course. He has fulfilled his role as Program Director for BCLS ED Training Center for 2 years. He has also gained experience in various funded hospitals in Malaysia, Parkway Group Hospital. He is well trained in the field of mental health from 3 different countries, which provided him a strong foundation in the specialty. He is also involved in facilitating special of healthcare professionals from various countries such as China, Thailand, Japan, and Korea. His efficient special projects such as implementation, mental health exhibition, motivational talks, etc. He is very effective in facilitating showcases for the different groups of healthcare professionals. He is also involved in delivering mental health first aid, counseling and mentoring the nursing and regulations to nursing students through the So now the time is yours to share your experience.
Okay, hi, good morning everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir, we can all hear you.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much for the very detailed introduction about me. Okay, it's a pleasure having in this seminar. Okay, it's a webinar what is organized by PSG. Okay, what I'm planning to do is I will be sharing what Parkway College we did during pandemic. Okay, especially what are the transformation we took in place in terms of a pedagogical approaches. So this is the brief intro of my session today. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, okay. I don't know. I was just informed in the group chat that get ready with another devices. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this kind of Mentimeter earlier. This is a quick survey to recognize what are the biggest challenges in terms of the pandemic. Please log into www.menti.com. Use this code. So you will be able to respond in this survey. Can you all try this out? I'll give you 1 minute to do this. Okay, once again, I repeat, please go to www.menti.com. Use the code here, 75225358. Can you all able to access this? Okay, I could see some of the responses here.
News code.
Okay, which of the following are the biggest challenges during pandemic? Okay, I can see some few responses. Maybe I'll wait for another 1 more minute. Okay, that's good. Okay, let me summarize what are your challenges. I could see the highest challenge, what you all indicate here, is the teacher's effectiveness and also competencies in delivering the content, which means most of you prefer this is the challenge. This is the highest challenge I can see. The second level highest challenge is the learner effectiveness and competencies in receiving the content. So these are the highest areas which I think you guys need to improve on, which means I can understand from it. Okay, that's a good idea. So I can see what are my focus, especially in today's presentation. Okay, can you all see my slides? Can you all see my slides? Maybe you can put up your hands.
Yes, sir.
If you all can see.
Sir, it is visible, sir.
Thanks for
Okay, that's good. I can see some of you are putting up your hand. So this is your response. Okay, please make it and follow whatever I let you know. Okay, whatever the instruction is given, I think that's good. Okay, today I will be presenting on 3 different components of a presentation. The first component, what was the nursing education before pandemic in Singapore? What are the nursing education during a circuit breaker period, especially during a phase 1? This is equivalent to the lockdown in India. Okay, and also what are the prism of possibilities, what you guys can do, what we are doing now, and what are the best practices in terms of delivering content to the existing situation. So this is the main focus of my content. Let me share briefly about what is the nursing education before pandemic in Singapore. Okay, you all can see there are different modules which I have listed. The nursing education in Singapore, we mostly focus on based on these sciences. We have behavioral science module, for example, psychology, sociology, abnormal psychology, all comes under here. We do have biological science like biology, anatomy, physiology, pathology, all these modules comes under here. We do have nursing science like medical and surgical and other specialty module. Every semester of our students will be learning this module. And how do we deliver this module in terms of a lecture? We do deliver the content in terms of a tutorial. Okay, let me go through with you what is the difference between a lecture and tutorial before pandemic and after pandemic. And of course, we do practice SDL or e-learning. 20% of the module content we already deliver in the form of e-learning before pandemic. So it wasn't a big issue when the pandemic developed, when it hit us. It's quite easy for to convince in our practices. But the problem what we face is a nursing skills module. Because the delivery mode is usually practical, we do provide some e-learning content, and most of the time we do is a simulation-based learning. And clinical practicum, as you all know, it is clinical postings. This is what our learning methodology, what we use before pandemic. Okay, how do we deliver lecture? Lecture, I think you know the webinar, what we do here, and it's mainly one-to-one side. The teachers have a higher interaction on over here. So we do organize some discussion and some kind of a questioning technique so that the participant were able to understand the topic. So our lecture is mostly less than 25% of the module content we deliver in a form of lecture. We mostly focus on SDL and e-learning. We do focus on a tutorial activity. So tutorial activities is mainly the contribution from your students. For example, we do a brainstorming, we do a group discussion, group presentation, we do have a problem-based learning, we do have a scenario-based learning, some role play and some debate. All this will be incorporated in our teaching methodology before pandemic. Okay, e-learning, mostly we have a learning management system. We have online forum, we have online quizzes, and we also have a game-based learning. So these are the few SDL and e-learning approaches we do. So practical, as usual, like other country, we do demo, written demo. We also have a guided practice. And our main essence here is a simulation-based learning. So this is a special way or approach where we improve our nurses' skill on it. Clinical posting, we do clinical rounds. We do provide a reflection. We do have a case study during the posting. So this is the what we do before pandemic. Okay, so this is how we deliver our lesson. So what happened during a circuit breaker or a phase 1? So these are the changes we amended. You look at the lecture and tutorial. We converted a lecture and tutorial into a virtual session. We conducted a practical session. We tried to deliver some of the practical component through virtually. But again, there is a very big challenge over there. But some of the essential session, yes, we do deliver in a face-to-face session. It's not all the sessions can be replaced by the virtual. We have limitations in terms of the skill. So that is a very important thing to note. And clinical posting, yes, during the lockdown period, especially during a circuit breaker, the hospital didn't allow us to send our student. We do a simulated clinical postings in our lab setting. What are the precautions we made? I think I will be sharing with you in a later part of the slide. Okay, we do deliver virtual classroom, but what we do, what we focus more on is how effective is our delivery method. So this is very, very important component. Even we introduce, I think one night, everybody go for a Zoom, everybody go for a Teams, everybody go for a different apps. Is this properly working? Is this properly fulfilling the responsibility of the teaching and also the learning? So this is how we come up with the effectiveness of the VC after we deliver some of the session through our online content. Then we improve accordingly. It's a quality improvement project, what we did in Parkway. So what we did is actually we do have some sessions conducted for a different group of students in Singapore. We have radiography, nursing, and optometry group of students. So we have total of 85% of the response rate. And we also included the teachers to give their feedback pertaining to the effectiveness of the virtual classroom. We do get 85% of the response rate from this particular department. So this is a very simple student feedback questions. What we ask when we do a virtual session. So these are the questions or the survey which we did among our students. Even if you look at it, our numbers are good in terms of they are agreeable, in terms of the coverage, in terms of the admin part, even in terms of the teacher's efficiency in delivering the content. Even though it's all good, but there are some students who is not happy about it. They strongly disagree or they disagree that virtual classroom is not effective in terms of the delivering content. So that's how what we do. We also consider the teacher's feedback. Okay, these are the teacher's feedback. I think the teachers are the strongest source where they can provide a proper support and services and what are the things they can deliver. So these are the different questions we ask from teachers. Some of the areas they strongly agree, but some of the areas they didn't agree. For example, whether they can see all the participants during the session, whether they have a digital whiteboard function, whether they have some kind of storing content in a diplomatic manner, or do we have a real-time data to analyze it? So these are the very, very poor feedback we receive from the teachers. This is how we improve on how do we deliver our virtual classroom practices. Okay, so these are some of the qualitative feedback what we receive. Qualitative feedback mostly we do get lots of strength, which is appreciated by the student, which is appreciated by the teacher in terms of our virtual session. But there are lots of areas to improve, which was highlighted by the student, which was highlighted by the teachers as well. Accordingly, we improve our delivery method. That's how we come up with this level that the students are happy with the virtual classroom. Look at the graph chart here. Okay, in the first week of the virtual session, our response rate was 80. Slowly, it was increased to the level up to 80 to 90. I think there is one point of time our response rate is below 80. You look at this is the lower level. The students and teachers are not happy with the virtual classroom. They are not happy to conduct. They are not happy in a way to receive the content. So what we did, this is the project we did. So this is the improvement. This is the effectiveness we did. So what we did over here, we provide an instructor training for the teachers. We deliver them some kind of a methodology. We do organize a session for them. We do teach them how effectively they can use the virtual session. We do provide a competency checklist for the teachers. So we make sure everybody pass the competency so that they are capable of delivering content through a virtual session. This is a very, very important project what we did. We train all our lecturers, we train all our associate lecturer in terms of delivering content, how effectively you can deliver your content through a virtual session with the appropriate interaction level. All this we did. And as I told you, we need everybody to be competent in delivering the content. So that's what we also make sure they become competent in terms of their content. So the competency checklists were maintained. And we also develop an operation manual in order to be a easy or a useful references for our teachers. For example, they have some difficulty. For example, how do I engage my participants?
Excuse me, sir.
This operation manual will give the idea. So what are the functions? All this is listed and it's given in a simplified manner so that the teachers can use.
Excuse me, Mr. Mohan, your slides are not changed.
Sorry, which slide you are in?
Which of the following are the biggest challenges during pandemic? Third slide, I think.
Okay, give me a minute. So which slide you can see me? Sorry.
Now weekly VC survey results, effectiveness.
Okay, so weekly survey results.
Yeah.
So. Okay, can you all see the VC project? The one
yes,
I was
yes,
highlighting.
Mr. Mohan.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, we also develop operation manual for our lecturers. We also develop a user guide for our students. I think we have to be empathetic to our learner because you see, one fine day we switch everything to a virtual classroom. I think the students are lost. I think they have a greatest challenge how to attend the session. I think even though we are technologically, we are very strong, but we still have a difficulties. For example, you can see today itself, we have lots of difficulties in terms of getting, in terms of approaching, in terms of delivering. We have lots of difficulties. What we did, we also go through with some of the user guide for our students. We also go through with them what are the expectations from the student, what are the virtual classroom etiquette they have to maintain and follow. All these were brief. So this is very, very important. This is what we did through this project. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Can you all see the graph once again? So look at here. After implementing this, we still get the 100% of the effectiveness in week 9, week 10, week 11. After 3 months only, we stopped doing the survey in order to recognize the effectiveness of the virtual session. So this is how we improve our virtual classroom session when we deliver to our students. Okay, can you all see the slides of practical session face to face? If you all put up your hand, can you please lower your hand? I think some of you are still putting up your hand. Okay, that's good. I can see. I think some of you are able to follow the instruction. That's fantastic. Can you change any other emotion? Other than raising hand, we have a different emotions in your, very good. I can see Suji is appreciating by claps. I can see Janita also doing something. That's fantastic. Okay, let me go through on a practical session how we do in this kind of situation. We have a limited access to the participant who come for a practical classes. We only able to accommodate only 12 students at any time with 4 beds. You can look at the picture over here. These are the 2 beds. We have a social distancing. We have only 3 students to engage in a practical session for 1 bed. So we have a total of 4 beds in 1 lab, and we have maximum of 12 students. And these 12 students will not be interacting with other 12 students. So we have to clear our practical session 12 by 12. And each 12 students are taken by 1 lecturer, and this lecturer also will not be mixed with other group of students. This is how we maintain the interaction and a practical session when it was delivered in our lab. Okay, so these are the real challenges. We do have a clinical posting which was stopped by many of the hospitals. So what we did is we simulated some of the posting. We do simulated medical, surgical. We also simulated a mental health posting. We also simulated polyclinic posting, which is equivalent to your primary healthcare posting. And we also simulated accidents and emergency posting. So these are the areas are restricted because of the COVID situation. Look at here, these are some of the pictures are taken. For example, we do organize some of the structured activity in the Institute of Mental Health. So we do prepare the classroom, we do prepare our lab exactly like how the hospital look like. We do have the recording session. We do have a face-to-face session. We do have some kind of interactive session through a webinar, through a virtual platform. So the expert from the particular field, for example, here you can see one of the experts from a mental health institution. She directly can see how our students are performing in a simulated environment. They were able to provide feedback on spot. This is how we deliver some of the simulated clinical postings. Once again, the simulated clinical postings will not replace the real posting. So that will be the biggest challenge we all have to accept it. Okay, simulation, yes, we can fulfill our objective. We can provide or improve our students' efficiency in terms of the skill performance. But at this point of time, we were able to manage with this kind of simulated posting. I think within this 1 month period of time, we are quite okay with that. And later part, I think the hospital were open, and I think they understand the importance of the nursing and medical student, how important the clinical education for them. So the Ministry of Health allow us to send our students to the training. So that's how we improve, and that's how we manage the situation. So what I'm trying to highlight here today, this is the prism of possibilities in a way. What we can do in order better deliver our content effectively. Okay, I think these are the slide I presented earlier. This is what we move on. Look at here, last time we do lecture, tutorial, SDL, e-learning. Now we convert this into a form of synchronous and asynchronous learning. I think I was expecting the speaker to discuss more about synchronous and asynchronous learning. We do deliver content virtually. Yes, we agree with that. But are we done in a synchronous manner? Are we doing in an asynchronous manner? Okay, we do have a content delivered in a synchronous manner. Like for example, today's session, we have a virtual session, Zoom session. We have a question and answer session. You can ask us, we give you feedback. We will be able to respond to your queries. That will be possible. We have lots of tutorial activity, as I told you. We do have a breakup rooms. I think the Zoom will have the facility. You divide the group into a smaller groups. We can ask them to do a brainstorming. You also can have a group discussion. We also can have a group presentation from your student. We also can have a problem-based learning. We can have a debate, role play. Even we can have an online forum and discussion. That will be more useful and more engaging for the learner. So we mostly focus on a synchronous learning. At the same time, we also focus on asynchronous learning. Without any teacher, without any help of other instructor, the learner will learn themselves. This is what the e-learning concepts come here. What we try to do nowadays is a recorded podcast. Okay, I think nowadays people are very fond of listening music, right? So what we do, we have a recorded script, and this recorded scripts are given to the student. The student can learn this recorded script during their travel time, or they can learn from their home. The teacher's not necessary to be there. And we also have a recorded classes. We also have the recorded videos, especially for the skill component. The learner can learn at their own convenience, as long as we give them time. Okay, within 1 week, you are supposed to complete this video, this class recorded session, this podcast. You have to complete your online quizzes, come for your synchronous learning. We merge asynchronous learning together with the synchronous learning. So this is improve the efficiency and also the learning outcome. And of course, we do provide lots of self-directed game-based learning. I think today's session is too short. I think I got only limited 20 to 30 minutes. I can't share much of the methodology, but we do still have a game-based learning. And this is incorporated into our teaching so that learners will have an effective learning taken place. And of course, practical and clinical posting. Now what we do is actually, we open up our labs with the proper precaution. Okay, we do have a social distancing in our practical session. We do have a group activity, like one group cannot be mixed with other group. So this is how we monitor our practical session nowadays. And clinical posting, yes, we do with the precaution. So what precaution we do in a clinical posting now, I think all our nursing students are allowed, but they need to go for a swab test once in 2 weeks. They need to be in N95 mask throughout their posting, and they also have to be vaccinated. I think all of our students are 100% vaccinated already, and all our lecturers also 100% vaccinated. And we also monitor their temperature twice in a day. So we record this and we monitor this as well. And we also, when it's required, we do the PCR test for them. So these are some of the precautions we still do whenever we expose them for a practical or a clinical posting. Okay, so this is what I was highlighting. When we deliver a virtual classroom, make sure you have these features or not. If you don't have any of these features, I think this will interrupt your learning outcome of your student. Okay, whether your virtual platform, is it easy to use? Whether you can see all the participants in your virtual session, okay? I think we make it some situation, we make it mandatory, we make sure our participant to on the camera, we make sure our participant to speak to us after on the camera. I think like today's webinar, it's 100 over participant, it's very hard to manage in that situation. But if you have a smaller class size, please see everyone during your virtual session. That's very, very important. And do you have a whiteboard activity, digital whiteboard? Can you write? Okay, so can you allow your students to write? This is very important feature in your virtual session. Do you have a cloud recording? Is this session recorded? Where do you store the recorded session? For example, students may miss the class because of the technical fault, or maybe the student may miss the class because of the few other reasons. Do you have an opportunity for them to view that recorded session? This is important in your virtual session. Do you have a screen sharing function? Zoom has. I think most of the virtual classes we have. Do you have a breakout room? If you have a breakout room, how often you use it? Do you have a class discussion? Do you have a real-time quizzes? Do you get the responses in many of the other ways? Do you have any type of cloud storage? Okay, so how you monitor recording, how long you can keep this recording, that's important. Do you analyze the data? Do you have an online attendance features? I think all these we have in our Parkway system. And do you have a learning management system at your own site? I think all the institutions have to little bit invest more on a LMS integration. You need to have your unique learning management system that will help or enhance the learner. I think if the time permits, I can go through with you some of the sample of it. Okay, prism of possibility, what you need to know. I think most of you are a master's level students here. We do have some of the trainers over here. We need to be updated with the technologies. That's very, very key element in nowadays. Okay, we need to be familiar with the LMS or a learning management system. Okay, we need to have a very strong foundation on it, and this robust learning management system will really enhance the learning of your participant. That is the area we need to invest, and we need to focus on a nursing education in future days. Yes, what we do in Parkway now, we focus more on our social medias into teaching and learning. I think people are using or abusing, I don't want to say anything. Okay, we have TikTok, we have WhatsApp, we have lots of social medias. But how effectively these social medias can be engaged in terms of teaching and learning? We are doing a project on this. If this is going to be successful, I think we also use other teaching methodology by utilizing these social medias. That will be our second target after the COVID situation. And what kind of interaction tools we are familiar with? For example, some interaction tools I listed here. The first survey I did is a Mentimeter. We do have a Padlet. We do have a Kahoot. All these are the different interaction tool. You have to use all this interaction tool in every classes so that your participants are not bored, not having a virtual fatigue. That's very, very important. And what is your technological advancement in using all these software? Like for example, we have a ClassTools.net, we have a Canva.com. You will be able to make a simple videos. You will be able to make some of the simple game-based learning from your teacher's level. I don't think we can get a learning technologies to do all of it. As an educator, we have to enhance our knowledge. We have to enhance our skills in terms of using this interaction tool. So that will be very, very important component over here. This is what we are looking at in terms of technology. Okay, very simple activity. I think if I have time, I don't know how much time I took it up. Can you all please go to www www.kahoot.it. Can you all go over there? Okay, once again, I repeat, www. Can you all see my screen, the Kahoot screen? If you all see my Kahoot screen, please put up your hands. Okay, please go log on to a www. Yeah, very good. I can see 2 participants raise hand. That's fantastic. Please enter the game pin 6791840. This is your game pin.
No, we are not able to see your screen. Kahoot screen is not shown.
Okay, give me a minute. Can you see now?
Now we can see.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
How many people talking?
Please go to this website. Enter the game pin. I can see. Fantastic. I at least need few participants so that we can finish this.
Excuse me, sir, your voice is not clear, sir.
Okay, is that okay, my voice now?
Yeah, it's okay, sir. Now it's good.
Okay, thank you so much for the feedback. Okay, I'll give maybe another 2 minutes so that we all can play together how to utilize the Kahoot.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have total of 16 participants here. Okay, I think for the benefit of the timing, I will stop here. So what we do is let us play this quiz. Okay, you will see the question in the screen and you will see your answer in your chat. You will see the question in the screen, your answer will be in your chat. Which of the following is an example of synchronous learning? Okay, I only gave you 10 seconds to respond. I got 2 right answers here. Okay, Nini Bag is leading the quiz activity here. Okay, let me go to the next question. Okay, this is a true or false type question. Recording features are essential in the use of any virtual session. True or false? Okay, I can see most of you is right answer. Okay, very good. I can appreciate Nini is leading the board. Jenny is together with her. Okay, so this is your third question. Which of the following is an example of asynchronous learning? Okay, I got 4 right answers. That's fantastic. Okay, Nimi is still leading. Wow, very good. Suji is picking up. Abhi is coming up as well. This will be my last question. That's very fast. Okay, it's a true or false question again. Teachers' competencies in using virtual class such as whiteboard activity and real-time quizzes are not required. True or false?
Okay, I got 9 right answer. Okay, so this is the podium. Okay, you can see Suji is the 3rd place. Abi is 2nd position. Congratulations, we have the winner is a Nini. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, that's good. Okay, this is one of the sample I just would like to show. It's Kahoot. We can use this as an interaction. Every class or every virtual session, we need to organize our content accordingly so that the learning will take place in an effective manner. Okay, the last part of the sharing, can you all see the learning management system? Can you all see the screen? Maybe you can put your hands down.
Yes, sir.
Very good. If you all can see, you can put your hands down. Okay, very good. I think you all can follow the instruction. That's fantastic. Okay, so this is how our learning management system look like. We have our unique ID for every user. We do have lots of courses in our learning management system. For example, I'm teaching this many modules for our nursing student. Okay, maybe I will open up one of the module, which is the behavioral science too. Okay, you can see here in this module, we have a home page. I have all my content in this module. The learners will get all their materials in this learning management system. We have all the lecture slides. We have all the tutorial activities instruction. We have all the SDL e-learning activity. All these are captured here. We have a student online discussion, which will be conducted here. You look at here, I'm opening the discussion chat group. Okay, we will share them the video. Based on the video, the students will have an interaction discussion. So this is the online forum what we created is one of the sample. Okay, we do take attendance over here. We will take the attendance of the participant when they attend all the online activity. For example, they attended the lecture, tutorial, they attended the e-learning. All this is captured here as well. We do have a virtual classroom feature here. I think we don't use Zoom. Zoom is not our usual platform. Our virtual session we conduct is this LMS. It's incorporated with this LMS. We use a Bongo. Bongo is another software, what we use it for a virtual session. Okay, okay, you can see these are the recorded meeting. You can see all our teachings are recorded. And anytime the students never understand some of the topic, they want to revisit the topic, they can go to this storage. They will be able to open the session. They will be able to learn once again. So these are the facilities what we have created for the participants with this era. I think my main message here, we conduct virtual effective class session so that our learners are effective in terms of our learning content. Use all the learning technologies is another choice. And my last is build up on a learning management system so that you will be able to tackle the situation in an effective manner. Once again, to repeat, your practical classes, your clinical activity cannot be replaced by online sessions. That is highly impossible. So we do lecture, we do tutorial, we do e-learning, we enhance the learning by using all these kind of synchronous and asynchronous learning method. Okay, otherwise we have to be safe when we deliver our care, when we provide practices in our lab setting, when we provide nursing care in a clinical setting. I think that will be the end of my presentation. I will open up for the questions. Sorry guys, can you all hear me?
Yes, Mohan.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I must really thank all the eminent speakers, Ma'am Zara Saad, Dr. Leena, and Dr. Devi, and Mr. Mohan for their elaborative explanation and taking us through virtually how did you manage the nursing education during this pandemic. Thank you all so much. Ms. Hema?
It's a time to thank everyone for this webinar. We do not learn from experience. We learn from reflections on experience. It's said by John Dewey. So as the statement comes true because of our principal ma'am, Professor A.J. Sudha, PSG College of Nursing, gave a wonderful platform for this learner and identify this eminent speaker for this international webinar 2021. So my heartfelt thanks to all the esteemed speakers from the various countries for sharing their wonderful and valuable time for us to make this function, that is a program, in a gracious manner, but also enlighten the knowledge of this delegates. And my deep thanks to all the national and international delegates to make the webinar in a grand, successful manner. And my sincere thanks to all this teaching and this non-teaching faculties for your supports and the suggestions. And my special thanks to everyone to attend this webinar, to make the webinar in a successful way. And last but not least, I just want to thank that organizing persons, that is that first year MSc nursing students, to make this webinar in a successful way. And I appreciate and thank all the delegates to participate in this webinar. And you are giving a lot of appreciations in this chat box. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and giving this appreciations. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for this webinar to make it in a successful way.
Thank you all once again. We had delegates from all over the country again, from Saudi Arabia, from Malaysia, from Singapore, from Indonesia and Bahrain. I thank all the delegates for your patience listening. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. Thank you, Ma'am Devi, Mohan, and Madam Sarah and Dr. Leela. Thank you all so much. Bye. We can sign off now. Thank you so much.
On kind request, can you please send your feedbacks?
All the delegates, kindly send your feedback in the feedback link. Then only you'll get your certificates. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Thanks, Mohan. Bye. Thank you, Ma'am Devi. Bye. Ma'am Zara, ma'am, thank you so much. I'll keep in touch.
Thank you. Bye.
So much. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Very nice presentation. Very nice presentation. Thank you for remembering me. Thank you.
To Mr. Mohan, thank you very much. So can I contact you to learn your platform of study online? It's a very,
Sure, no problem. Madam Devi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can contact me. You need my number, is it?
Right.
Maybe I
from
share my...
Indonesia, Jakarta. Yeah, because
okay,
your platform to learn by online is a very, very modern. Maybe next time I will visiting collaboration with you. I would like to all my staff to learn how to teach properly by online.
Sure, no problem. It's pleasure helping you. It's not a problem. Thank you, Ma'am Devi. You can contact me.
Okay. Okay, maybe you know the contact. Next time I will.
Okay, I will send you
next
the.
time I will contact.
Give me a minute. I will send my. Okay, I will send my email address.
Okay, you send in group. You send
in a group chat. You can see the group chat here.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a minute.
And Professor group.
Can you see that?
Jaya Suda group.
It's in the
Okay.
it's in the chat group.
And Devi, I will also share with you in WhatsApp, Mohan's detail.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, she was asking me the details.
I'll share it, Mohan, with her.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Devi. Yeah.
Professor to the group.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Nice.
Okay. Thank you so much. I will
See you
exit.
soon.
Thank you.
Prof. Jasuda, thank you very much. See you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Devi, ma'am.
Thank you. Can I leave?
You